Hey guys, how's it going? Got midweek, finally got a chance to do some tutorials here. Did some debugging offline. Lots of videos I shot, and we were having issues trying to get it. And that's one thing with RTS is there's a lot of debugging involved. So last time we had the tutorial out was the actual survey process. I'm gonna show you what it looks like now um, as far as the actual data. Um, Actually, yeah, we'll do that. So we're gonna go recent places, go into the roots. We could just edit this. Normally you'd want to run as administrator. Well, let me do that anyways, just to show you so that you go to your notepad, right mouse click. If I'm not too sure what your system might have set up, but you want to run notepad as run as administrator. Okay, and you go file, open, and you want to go to, yeah, you're in the roots. This is where all the RTS data will be. So where the heck is it? Oh yeah, text documents. No, all files. I was wondering what was going on. Okay. You're looking for blocks. This was the file that we updated. And as you can see, I do have data for Selkirk now. Now, this data, uh, I was having issues. I had typos. I had all kinds of things that were going on. One thing is don't get frustrated with them. Just take your time, go through the data. I had some of these 3000s. I had started at 6000s. I had all kinds of issues. I had decimal places. Um, it's not going to be. This isn't because I don't have the interface to Run8. Let's say I don't have the actual interface to how the roots are built. I'm coming from the outside in. So everything that I get, I have to do it the hard way. And I say the hard way because there's an easier way to do it if you know how Run8 is structured program wise, and I don't have all the access to that because I'm not the programmer. I'm an outside looking in, basically. And that's not a criticism or anything like that. That's just the way it is. Run8 has their team, they have their road editors, they have all kinds of access to do different things. Uh, RTS on the other side is something from the outside looking in. So you have to have the actual data that makes sense. And if you don't, you'll end up getting errors. So that's one of the files. The other ones are the actual train files themselves, and I added a few of them as well. First, you want to go with the actual trains. Let me double click on that so we get that over there, and then I'm going to open up another window. And here we go. Doesn't have to be so big either, but anyways. So now that you have the actual survey, and this survey is good, so this is a good tutorial where it will work. It won't work for you the first time. I'm telling you that right now. And I think a lot of people get frustrated. I don't hear too much feedback, but I bet you a lot of people get frustrated if they try to add their own stuff. I know some people have in the past, and eventually they get it. You just have to be patient. So now you look through the waybills. Okay. What you want to do is right down here. You'll see a line where it says comments listed below. Now that's what I have. You don't have to have that line there. What you have to have though in these files, and let me see if I go far enough. There we go. I put that line in there. You can type with whatever you want, but this is the key file. In the waybills, you got a -1 xxxx. That's a default file that the program needs to recognize. I don't know what field it needs to recognize, but offhand, I haven't been into the program that long or in a long time to see that. But over here in the trains file, you got this XXX. Now notice these here, this Q999, and up here we've got not Z999. Z999 is a something over on Florida. So this is the new data that we added in. it's important that you do run as administrator, because a lot of times your shared systems, because it's in a program directory, if you try to use Notepad without running as administrator and you go to save it, it won't let you. It'll say you don't have access, and all your edits will not save, and it'll actually be lost unless you copy it to another file. But that's it. Those are the files. Those are the extra trains we've added right there. Now, the key notes on this I want to point out is you'll see the name we use, Selkirk NB. That actually goes back to the root file. I won't open that again, but yeah, why not? We'll do it real quick anyways. So we go back into the blocks file, not the root file, the blocks file. I didn't want to do that. No, here. Let me just go in and edit that right from here instead of running as administrator. There you go. So you see Selkirk northbound and all the data that's in there at that point specifies. We've already gone through, I believe we've already gone through what all the survey blocks are. If we haven't, I gotta dig that up and add it in or edit it or something. But that is from the survey data that we did before. And I believe I might have skipped over that because I started having issues once we actually tested it. So I'll try to dig up that video, get that posted as well, and do some editing for that. But anyways, those are the key ones. It links to Selkirk northbound, which has all 37, the number 37 there, all the blocks, and these are different XYZ parameters, etc. And then you have all the different block numbers, and you have all the different lengths, and they have to be right. There's some rounding off that you can safely do within a few decimal places, but after a little while, if you start throwing it off too much, it's going to say, no, I can't do this because the trucks are way too far apart and the train will not actually go into play. So I'm not going to save these files for now. What I'll do is I'll close off all this here, and I'll show you an example of how it works. The other thing too was where some waybill file says a W or an E. I used the S, and that is what this do. I'll show you this in a minute here. What am I? I hate when Windows does this. I'm used to every now and then I close the computer and then all of a sudden it reassigns everything. And I thought I had it set off, but apparently it still likes to reassign things, or it puts everything together. I'm used to it. My desktop is real messy. So anyways, enough of my issues. Going into the RTS program, when you type GEN for generate, now it says see example W for west, E for east. Well, I needed one for Selkirk so that I don't disturb the actual trains that are there, so don't worry about that. I hit backspace, that's what that happened there. So capital S, and these are the only waybills, and it says 427. You might say, wait a minute, there wasn't 427. There are 427. You have to count up the individual calls for each one. And there it is. It's generating the trains. So we're good. Now you go into the program. And again, how we got from between surveying, getting the data in. I have to look at the file to see about getting the data in. I thought I had a tutorial up for it. Perhaps not. So go down to Selkirk, and we want to go into trains, and there's our trains right there. So we'll start with the Q999, yeah, Q999, which these are just fictitious trains that I made up just to test it. And I did a screenshot on my forum that showed you a sample. Every time you generate it, a new train is going to come up. So here we go. This is a generated train. It's got 2 engines. It'll put in the right number of engines for, I think I have 0.9, and I tried running a similar one of these trains. You can see 22 is the last, today's 22nd, so it puts today's date on there. And you can see the tags are loaded. These are those tags. I'm using Florida tags for now. So I got some reefers in there. I got all kinds of stuff that's specific to the waybills. And later on today, I'm going to go through the whole analysis thing. I'll delete this one for now, and I'll show you another one here. We'll spawn blah, blah, blah. What was the other one of those trains? We'll spawn the longest one, and I think 80. So an 80-car intermodal train. Again, it says 2 engines is all it's needed for 0.9. And I think I have Selkirk listed on here. Maybe I don't. Hang on. Yep. So I put SEL. So all of them have Selkirk on. As you can see, this is a fairly lengthy train. Almost gets to the second curve. It can spawn all the way up to here. You got to be careful though. If you try pushing it, doing 100 waybills, you might end up running off the track and it won't work. So, you know, an 80-car train, it's about how much you want to push it as far as intermodal. Of course, manifest you could probably get away with a 100-car train, but let's see here. How many cars is this? Now I say 80 cars, but as you can see, it says 82. That is the RTS software randomizing the waybill counts. If you total up all the waybills, they will equal. I think I have 10 to 80, so you add up 10, 20, 30, all the way to 80, and how many other cars I have for 999. If you total up all the waybills, they will equal to the number of waybills, but what randomizes is it calls the waybills within those 437. So some trains will be a little larger, some trains will be a little smaller. That's where you get your little randomization going on, which is cool. I like that. So you're going to have a different length train every time, which is what I want. And every time you run the program, you'll have different cars coming up, etc., etc. So anyways, I'm going to end this for now. I wanted to close that off. I'll try to find that tutorial in between at some point. But I do have a few other things that I want to get going, because at least this process so far, I'm pretty much on it. As far as Selkirk, I have the time to do it, and I've already done the other two. I just need to put the data in, so maybe I'll deal with that in another video at some point. But the next videos, I'm going to deal with some of the research that's involved to making sense and making proper waybills. So anyways, we'll talk to you shortly.